Sup everyone, welcome back to another video. And as you guys see on screen, although it does look like I have Alhaitham, I haven't actually pulled for him yet. So the footage that you're about to see on screen, I will credit to the actual person who uploaded them on YouTube, along with their YouTube channel down in the description, as well as in the comments. You guys should go check that out for the full length. I'm not going to give too much context here, but I've also been talking with some people who have had the chance to already play him, build him up, and I've already seen all the numbers at max level, with weapon, without weapon, C0 weapon, free to play weapon, everything. So here's the verdict for this character. And I mean, from my initial impressions of him back when he was first displayed in the live stream, I had my doubts. And of course, with the rumors or leaks at this point, people were saying he got buffed, he got nerfed, and everything like that. And my bare minimum expectation for him has to be better than Tignari. This guy has to be. If he's not better than Tignari, it's a waste of everybody's time. It's disrespectful to the player base. And sure enough, he came out. He is better than Tignari, right? And Tignari is already a very solid character overall. In many ways, then one though, they do share a similar role with each other, being Dendro DPS, whereas Tignari is more of a quick swap burst offload DPS, and Alhaitham is a bit of both, right? The cool thing about Alhaitham is you can play him in a quick swap team, you can play him in an on-field sustain team, you can play him as a Dendro driver, although that hasn't seemed to really be optimal. But then again, why are you guys watching this video, right? You guys trying to see, is he worth it? What about for free to plays? What about for whales, spenders, constellations? What about newer players who don't have as many characters? Is he a good pickup? Am I going to be able to build a roster around him? And all that stuff, okay? So with Alhaitham, let's start. Bare minimum is that he is C0 with free to play weapons. And yeah, he's pretty damn good. You got to give credit to Hoyoverse for designing characters with the thought of Dendro reactions way back. I don't know how long ago characters like Alhaitham came to shape, but it's evident that when they were designing the Dendro element, they had newer players in mind, because you really don't have to even try to get Dendro DPSs to deal decent damage. It's all in the reaction. Yes, building more EM is important, optimizing stats is important, but it's not as important as just having the reaction. Now, in terms of Alhaitham, I think a Hyper Bloom team, Quicken team, Spread team is going to be the way to go. Now, I think if you're ordering from strength-wise, I think Spread, Hyper Bloom, Quicken, along those lines. Just because he can really take advantage of all the reactions that Dendro has to offer because of his immense Dendro application, as well as his sustained and prolonged DPS. Now, where he kind of struggles from what I've heard is that energy, right? Energy seems to be a problem because he himself doesn't generate an enormous amount, and at the same time his burst does cost 70 energy. So if you want the burst uptime, which is important because with proper burst uptime, then you're able to juggle his mirrors, which you can stack up to 3, which is incredibly important to how much damage you're outputting. Ideally, you want to upkeep minimum at 2, if not 3 most of the time. All right, so I'm going to be making videos of proper rotations and just tips and tricks when I get to fully test, because I just feel I can't be asking people to test all this, and it's very difficult to ask people to test in certain ways because I test characters in a very personalized manner. So we're going to get to the details later, but just know that this character is not as simple as it looks. It's not like, oh look, I'm just gonna press E like ka-ching, go follow through, and then just auto attack or charge attack. It's not that simple. He's a predominantly auto attacking character with charge attacks, plunge attacks mixed in to facilitate stacking his mirrors, which is again very important for DPS. Okay, so just know that this character has a little more nuance than you would first be led on to believe. Now, going forward, a step from that is comparatively to other characters that are already in the game, especially characters that are coming up. How's his damage doing? It's doing good, and to say that he has exceeded my expectation would be underselling him. I was expecting him to be hovering around Ayato level, somewhere around there, Yaimiko roughly, right? Like that kind of range, but I feel like he seems like he just edges them out by a tad. I don't know why or how yet, because like again, I haven't been able to test him fully, but from what it seems like, it seems that his best in slot team, because it has Nahida in it, and the fact that he has such a wide range of amazing free-to-play weapons, such as the Iron Sting, and there's this like umbrella looking weapon that everybody's been talking about that goes really well with him, which is free-to-play, and also a ton of 5-star swords that has re-ran through the game a couple times, that he honestly really does feel like a character that is well kitted, whether you're a beginner or a veteran player or somebody amidst building their accounts, right? Now, another key factor is that he is being released with Yao Yao. And Yao Yao is a Dendro healer, first of her kind, and very, very powerful, especially considering the double Dendro resonance. That's also something else we need to point towards. The Dendro resonance is a superb one that rivals something along the lines of Geo resonance, which arguably is an insane resonance as well. Being new element, of course, Hoyoverse got it right in one move. And also, because Dendro does not have swirl reactions available, oftentimes you cannot run Anemo characters with them. So what ends up happening is you have to run Deepwood. So for Alhaitham to work, you really need somebody to run Deepwood, while he himself usually runs the Gilded Dream set for maximum damage. Okay, so with all the pieces coming together, just makes him a character that feels more complete, and that completeness, if that makes any sense, is why I feel like he stands a little bit above characters such as Ayato, such as Yaimiko. Is he the best on-field DPS release since Sumeru's release? I think I might have to give it to him, right? I do believe he outperforms Sino. I do believe he outperforms Tignari, and other characters that have been released are just non-on-field DPSs. Is he a better and more important character than Nahida? Absolutely not. Don't get that mixed up. I do think the distance between Nahida and Alhaitham is far greater than, let's say, Alhaitham and Ayato, just putting it that way. All right, so he's a good character, but he doesn't rival Nahida. In fact, in his best in slot teams, from what I have seen, and I've been saying this as well, he follows the same pattern as previous release characters in Sumeru, that he wants Nahida on his team, especially because he scales off of EM and needs Nahida's EM buff to realize his maximum potential. So that brings it all back, right? If you don't have Nahida, is he still a worthwhile pickup? I would say yes, but it certainly limits some options you have when it comes to the best DPSs you can have in the game. There is one that is coming up right after him, being Hu Tao, who still has a higher ceiling than him, even at C0. All right, now Alhaitham can put out about, I would say at this point, in one proper DPS rotation, over 600,000 damage, and Hu Tao is around 1 million. So if you guys really don't mind that 300,000-ish damage difference, it's up to you. Hu Tao, I believe, is offloading that in a similar time frame. I think Alhaitham, we can calculate it for around 12 seconds. If you give 12 seconds to Hu Tao, their DPS windows are around the same, which makes it a decently fair comparison. I'm of course giving Alhaitham his weapon, giving Hu Tao her weapon, giving Alhaitham Nahida, and giving Hu Tao all her best in slot teams like Double Hydro, Zhongli, all the sorts. Okay, difference between Alhaitham and Hu Tao is that Alhaitham could be played in like 4 different variations of teams, and eventually I do believe he can't even be slotted into Burning and Burgeon teams, with him being like the on-field sustained Dendro. And as you guys know how Burning works, is you need Dendro constantly being supplied to Pyro to sustain the burning effect, and Burgeon is just the evolved form of that, right? So he might be a key role player in future Burning teams, and Hu Tao is just a vape character. So don't think I'm underselling Alhaitham here by saying, oh, he doesn't quite catch up with Hu Tao's thing. Well, yeah, the trade-off is Hu Tao gets played in that unique team, whereas Alhaitham has options. And when it comes to people choosing characters in Genshin, a lot of the times options, variability, flexibility is very important, because the game can get stale very quickly and Primo Gems don't come around cheap, right? When it comes to characters such as Alhaitham, having him have access to all these amazing team comps could be what breaks the camo in the back between the ever-arching seesaw of Hu Tao, Alhaitham, right? So for people who think Alhaitham is already cool, you already liked him, you're just right on the border here, I'd say he's not a bad pickup, no, honestly. And you don't even need Yalan having Xingqiu, which arguably he's at this point a free-to-play character, is he not? You can pick one up for free. Xingqiu is a free-to-play unit, so people, if you pick up Alhaitham, don't even worry about not having the right pieces, because the right pieces is like the Dendro MC. You can have Fischl, you can have Xingqiu, or you can have Alhaitham, you can have Yao Yao, you can have Xingqiu, and then you can have Fischl or Beidou. It's quite refreshing, honestly, to see a character that is beloved by the community and Hoyoverse amongst the back and forth of buffing, nerfing, ended up with a character that actually just hits the right spot, a little bit above Alhaitham, which would categorize him as a pretty strong character in my opinion. So yeah, people, congratulations if you already pulled him, and if people are still on the fence, this video is not enough. Look out for future videos that I'm gonna be releasing for him, and yeah, next time, we're y'all to stay safe. Peace, bye bye.